This is brought to you by the 21-Day Challenge. So, if you are an entrepreneur, someone who wants to get your message out to the world, you know you're meant for something bigger, but you're just not executing on that vision. You're not leaving the legacy. You're not impacting lives the way that you know you're capable of. That's the 21-Day Challenge. It's one-on-one accountability for 21 days. I'll make sure that you are in gear, crystal clear on your vision, broken down into bite-sized steps, and taking massive action. So if you're ready to ignite that fire under yourself and succeed like never before, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, and I'd love to talk to you about your 21-day challenge. Next up is the iTunes review of the week, and this week, guess who it is by? Can you guess? Can you guess? You probably have no idea. It's by Super Dave, and Super Dave says, highly recommended. Great stuff from a great guy. Insightful talks and discussions that lead to meaningful change. Thanks, Super Dave. I appreciate you. And if you want to give us a review, go to beergps.com/iTunes, and you can give us a review there, or you can search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store and find us like that. Thanks so much in advance for letting us know what you love, what we can improve on, and how we can make this show even better for you in the future. So, like I said, I'm going to bring Kevin and Jay on in just a minute here. Before that, make sure you are ready to receive the gold and the wisdom, because these two are powerhouses. They've both been on the show multiple times. Kevin Scott has been with the 12-hour marathon since literally the beginning, and it is absolutely a blessing to have him back on. And these two guys are my brothers, and I appreciate them and all their support and all that they're up to, and what they're creating in the world, the challenges and obstacles that they have overcome and are just sharing about and sharing about in the world. It blows my mind what these two human beings are doing. So make sure you stay tuned, because it's going to be an epic, fun, dynamic, off-the-wall blast of an interview. So let's introduce them, and then we will bring them on the show. When Kevin Bruce Scott speaks, he speaks to your heart, not just to your mind. He has seen many different lives as an artist, a businessman, a salesman, and even a farmer. And that helps him relate to all kinds of people. When you listen with your whole being, Kevin gives you a feeling of potential possibility in your life, something you may have forgotten you have hidden all along. He is a leader of leaders, a leader of men, and an example for men of all walks of life. Kevin is the catalyst for the masculine expansion, an effort to show men that they are capable of so much more in today's society. He is a relationship expert, helping men live fulfilled lives through improving their relationships at work, at home, but most importantly, with themselves. And Jay Oles is a man on a positive life mission to be the best father, friend, and partner he can be. As a 47-year-old truck driver and father of 4, he has embraced the journey from anger, blaming, and victimhood to understanding, communication, and positivity. His life is his own creation in progress, and he loves it that way. He is courageously battling cancer and inspiring others to rethink, rewire, and restart. To Cisco, aka see yourself, see your situation change overnight, when their struggles seem too overwhelming. His drive and motivation helps others see that by proving this works, hopes to help others achieve positive results in life himself. Are you two ready to rock it? Because I swear, I don't even know if this screen can contain all three of us at once.
There's a lot of energy in the room. There's a lot of energy on this screen here. Woo. I gotta say, Jay, you look amazing for 47. Like, can everybody watching this give a little props to Mr. Oles for how amazing he look? He makes 47 look.
Stud.
I'm sorry, I can't hear it. What did you say?
I love it. Well, you two, thank you so much for being here. I love you both, and you just hold this amazing spot in my heart for who you are, what you have created, what you are creating, and how you've supported us here at Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. So thank you for being here and being who you are.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is, we talked about overcoming that fear of missing out, FOMO, as well as focus. So we'll start with Kevin. Kevin, how do you focus and overcome FOMO, fear of missing out?
Well, that was a big thing for me, fear of missing out. It was the entire reason I got a cell phone for the very first time. I lived, when I was a farmer, I was completely away from life.
Wow.
I couldn't access friends. Like, I had no idea what was going on in the world. So I got a cell phone, and this thing became so important to my life, but it also helped send it down a really awful path where I would go out every night and go get drunk every night. Jay looking like that. Many times with Jay.
Yeah.
But what happened was the way that I got over it was I needed to focus on what it was that I truly wanted. And what really helped was when my now fiance said to me, she said, you can either have a beer in your hand, or sorry, a six pack in your hand, watching television, or you can have a six pack on your stomach, a glass of wine in your hand, and the woman of your dreams sitting beside you on a beach. And I went, are you sure? Are you sure I can have that? Absolutely, you can have whatever you desire. And it took that goal to have that. Now I'm still working on the six pack on my stomach. I can see 4 of them, so I'm very happy about that. But sorry, I got a phone call. But I'm that much. Well, I've got all the rest of it. And I was able to use my focus. Now, we men, we have an innate ability to focus. Yeah. It's born into us. For millions of years, it's been bred into us. We have an ability to focus on the one thing that we want more than anything. It started off being food, hunting. But now, if we use that ability, we can train it to money. We can train it to the relationship that we want. We can train it to the life that we want. We can train it to positive masculinity. We can train it to personal growth, whatever it is. And the more that you focus on it and stay disciplined, teach yourself to be disciplined, the faster things happen in your life. And then you don't fear of missing out because you create what other people want. You create a life that you want. Focus on what you actually desire, not what other people are doing. What is it that you want? And this is the thing that one of the things that I help men with most is figure out what they want. We don't know what we want for the most part. First time I was asked, what do you want? I said, a beer. And she's like, no, seriously, what do you want? I'm like, 2 beers? I don't know. I've never thought about what I want. I'm focusing on giving to other people, focusing on creating a life where I can, get married and have children and then provide for that. Yeah. Because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what man does. So I went out and I got a practical job and I worked in electronics, a degree in electronics. And I did all the practical things trying to build a life, but I was never focusing on what I really wanted to do deep down. And it caused a life where I was FOMOing all the time.
I love it. I love it.
I wanted life changes.
It's super powerful. It's like when you started using that muscle of focus that every, especially man, is embodied with, but women too, because we both have masculine and feminine energy within us. That power of focus is what creates, is what draws the result or dream or whatever the heart desires to you. And when you ask yourself that question, you get the clarity on it, then you start making progress towards it. And you could never be helping so many men that you are in this community, Effortless Alphas, and empowering so many people, so many men, without having to go through that uncomfortable phase of, well, I don't know what I want, but let's look. Let's look at what inspires me. Let's look at what my heart and my mind calls to. Let's look at what I'm aligned with. And I'm sure it took trial and error and practicing, but like really at one point you said, this is what I'm about. Effortless Alphas, the masculine expansion. And you let go of the other things that you could have potentially been doing, the partying, the drinking, the beer, whatever it might be. You're like, that's cool and all, but I'm here for something bigger. I'm here for a legacy. I'm here for impact. And so you started shaping your reality around those values and that priority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful,
man.
man.
I want to know I have a Chris Burns size water bottle.
Yes. Well, close.
That's only half. That's only half. It's only half the Chris Burns bottle.
I love it.
The
I
Chris
love
Burns shot.
That's right, Chris Burns
There you
shot. Oh my gosh, awesome. Well, Kevin, thank you for sharing that, and let's jump over to Jay, man. How have you focused, and how have you overcome fear of missing out?
Well, first off, as for the 6-pack, I have a keg. I'm working on it. I'm happy with who I am. I'm not, Lou Ferrigno, but I'm happy with who I am. As for the fear of missing out, I would probably say that I was very scared of missing out on a lot of things before. As for now, I've trained my thoughts to be more of, if I missed out on something, it's because something bigger and better is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as a negative way anymore. I look at it as a positive way. Whereas before, for an example, if Kevin went out with somebody other than me before, it was like, oh, Kevin doesn't love me. He's not. He's out having fun with somebody else instead of me, or whatever it may be. But truth be told is, I don't look at it as I'm afraid to miss out on anything, because I do look at it as a door it's opening for something bigger and better.
Yeah.
So
powerful. Beautiful. I love it, Jay. And what I'm hearing is, like, when you are willing to let go of the good, you'll be able to get to the great. It's like the extraordinary, the your life's purpose. You're truly being fulfilled and truly being happy, instead of worrying about what Kevin's doing or someone else is doing, and making that mean certain things and interpreting that and creating stories. You're just staying in your lane. You're saying, I'm going to do the best that I can with what I've got.
The thing that I've also noticed about a lot of things is, I found myself doing things that I might not like doing because I want to impress or make somebody else happy. And I've learned that I really don't care.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. I do things to impress myself. If there's something I need to do to impress somebody in my life, I want it to be my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I've changed a lot. Don't get me wrong. I would still love every day to impress you both, on the changes that I make in my life. But no offense for you, it's for me, not for you.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There's a powerful phrase that we have is, I love you, and I don't give a flying blank what you think about me, right? You can say duck. You could say something that rhymes with duck. Whatever. I don't give a flying duck.
Put the word down in the comments.
Right. Yeah, so it's like, I love you, like, I care about you. Don't ever mistake that it isn't coming from a place of love. And I think that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of, well, what will they think about me? And it's like, well, if you tell someone I love you, and here are the boundaries that I have to put in place, here's what I have to do because of me, to fill my own cup, to love myself, then that's being true to yourself. And that's what I think we're all on this journey to learn how to do even more effectively, is to tune into ourselves and trust our own guidance and intuition and wisdom.
And that's part of the journey. That's part of the journey that we men face. I mean, I speak from a place of talking to men because I work strictly with men. Melanie works with women, but a lot of the stuff that we do can apply to both people. But it's about emotional intelligence. The reason that we don't oftentimes go after the things that we want, the reason that we don't tell people what our boundaries are, is because we don't want to be responsible for their emotions. When someone feels bad,
insecurities, maybe.
What's that?
Maybe emotional insecurities. That's kind of where I would find with that, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the cause of a lot of this. Is I don't want to be responsible for making somebody else feel bad, because I can't. I don't want to feel shame. I don't want to feel guilt. But when I can come into my mature masculine or mature feminine and understand that my emotions are mine, your emotions are yours, then I can hold space for your emotions when you're hurt. Doesn't mean I go around hurting yourself. Like you said, it comes from a place of love for myself and love for you. And then if I can hold space for you while you're going through your process, we can have an incredible conversation about this. We can reach a much deeper connection. And this isn't about necessarily intimacy. This can be brothers, friends, at work, parents, children. you have a much broader opportunity. And this is all tying into what we're talking about, which is positive masculinity and personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful. And I'm curious, off the top of your head, do you have a exercise or a practice or a framework that we could use to be able to start a conversation like that? Because what comes to my mind that people might be afraid of is, well, if I confront someone or if I open up a space for really hashing it out, really sharing what's on our minds and being real, and if I do that, then that opens me up for someone to like kind of fire back. You know, if people get defensive, if we have real conversations, then there's a likelihood that emotions will flare, things will be said that people will regret later, and it's like how do we step into a conversation like that with empowerment, with trust in ourselves, knowing that everything's going to be okay, not permanently ruining or hurting the relationship.
There are so many questions there. We could talk for the next 3 days on what you just asked there. But you say the word confront when you want to confront someone about something. This right here is the issue, and where most men go in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
I need to confront this because I don't like the way that I'm feeling. I need to confront the person that made me feel this way. But if your emotions are your own, nobody made you feel anything.
Wow.
You look at Jay, you feel it.
Yeah.
And now here's how to open the conversation to have something incredible happen. Just say, I feel blank. Insert feeling. Now, when it still leaves the opportunity for the other person to get defensive. Because then they get on defensive going, oh no, I made them feel bad.
Right.
And they could get defensive that way. But if you only stick to the way that you feel and not use the words you or she or them in your conversation, and you make it about yourself, you get the opportunity to find out incredible things about you.
I love it. Super powerful. So the whole mindset of confronting is aggression is almost like dominating. Like, I'm right, you're wrong. Let's clear the slate so that you can recognize what you're doing wrong. And that's just totally doesn't create great energy.
Share with us your experience, Jay.
Which one? As I'm sure most men hate being wrong. I should say most humans hate being wrong. But at one point in time, I wasn't wrong. I don't care if I was wrong or not. You're wrong. I'm not wrong. And there's been many times that, again, I would, like you say, confront and aggressively. And no matter what, whether they were right or I was incorrect, you won't use the word wrong, I would still come out at full force, 100% I'm right no matter what. And if I was proven wrong, I'd find a different way to approach it so I wasn't wrong. Because I could never admit that I was wrong. I could never accept that I was wrong because to me it was a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. In my opinion, the sign of weakness is the fact that I fought. It's the fact that I argued. It's the fact that I was aggressive. I had, and Kevin can vouch for me, I had explosive anger. Kevin's my best friend, and we could talk about something as simple as a baseball game. And I keep bringing this one up because this is the first time that I've noticed. And we were talking simply about a stupid play in baseball. I knew I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. I'm not wrong. Am I right, Kevin?
That took a lot of patience on my part.
I'm telling you, I still got to send him Christmas cards every year for staying my friend. I don't know how the hell he did it. I didn't even want to be my friend, so I don't know how he did it. But it's amazing because there's so many people out there that are so angry, and the truth be told is you're angry because you have impulse reactions. You do not take the time to rethink, rewire, and restart. Once you start doing this, in every aspect of anything that you do in your life, you're going to see a complete change. I've seen it. Kevin's seen it. Chris, I know you've seen it.
Definitely.
I worked my ass off to not be that person that I was before.
It's huge.
Now, the person that I'm becoming is not who anybody else wants me to be. It's who I want to be. It's who I've always wanted to be. I just never knew because I was too damn stubborn to admit that's not who I wanted to be. Now I'm working my ass off at becoming that person. Not only have I achieved quite a bit of success in the changes that I've made, the changes that I brought in my life have brought so many changes around me. I have an amazing girlfriend now that I would have never in a day thought that I would ever be able to pick a woman like her or that she would pick me. I have still the most amazing best friend in the world, which, like I said, I still don't know how he stayed as long as he did. But with the change that I've made, Chris, you've become a part of my life to help me, become the person that I want to be. My daughter wants to spend time with me all the time. My son calls me every day. I have conversations with my boss. I have a whole brand new set of friends that I never thought I would have. Everything in my life is so much better, and I know it can get even better. And Kevin knows because I'm going to share this today, and I'm hoping and praying my boss isn't watching. I got a job offer today that I have been wanting for quite a while. Not only is it a massive pay increase, but there's a pension, benefits, it's everything that I've wanted. And it's come from hard work. It's doing the shitty jobs that I didn't really want to do and doing them well so that it's noticed by other people, i.e. possibly my new boss. And all I'm doing is putting all these things in perspective and following with what I know that I need to do to get where I need to be. And I've noticed that the harder I work, the more work I put into it, the better the results are. And it's everything you do. Whether you work out, the harder you work out, the more results you get. Yeah. It's everything in your life, your relationships. As Kevin we were just talking about the confrontation thing, confronting somebody. Even in my relationship now, there's no confrontation. I have not had a single argument with Amanda in 2 years of us being together.
That's incredible.
And it's because rethink, rewire, restart, approach it differently, and listen. I've never listened. I don't need to listen. I'm a know-it-all. I'm Jay Google. That's my name. I'm a know-it-all. No, I'm not. And, I've learned now that when I shut the F up and listen, that's when I learn. And I understand better. And then when I try things, I start to notice that if it doesn't work, maybe I'll try doing it in a different way. Maybe it'll work that way. Or maybe it works and it's amazing. Yeah. And that's what I've always wanted. And thank you so much for giving me that guidance and direction to finally get off my ass and do what I need to do it, to get there, to be the person I want to be.
That's gold. That's gold, Jay.
I'm gonna shut up now. Next.
I love it. No, it's great. It's great. It's really powerful because you're sharing from your own perspective. You're sharing from your life experience. And I think the biggest ways that we can inspire the people around us is to say, hey, I was once in your shoes, or I was once in those shoes, and look at where I'm at now. Look at where I'm standing now. Let me share with you how I've gotten to where I am today. So that's also something I wanted to talk to you, Kevin, about, is that positive masculinity. What would you say are the distinctions that you've picked up over the years of focusing on the effortless alphas, coaching men, and just seeing the patterns of what are those big distinctions that we can make as men to really show up powerfully and congruent and aligned and living our purpose and focused?
The one word that I always come back to, the root of everything, is respect. And it's for a lot of men out there, we say, I'll respect you once you respect me. You got to earn my respect. Mister. However, that's coming from a place of insecurity. That's coming from a negative masculine, or just a negative mindset. You got to earn my respect. If you've ever heard someone say that, does it sound like something positive? No, not so much. It's got a chip on the shoulder to it. So for me, and the way that I've started living my life, and the way I've kind of always done it, but really once I pinpointed that this was the thing, it changed everything in my entire life, was I give respect first. Give respect, because law of attraction, if we're all fairly woo-woo here,
Yep.
law of attraction, you got to give in order to receive. What you're giving out in energy, you will receive back. What you're giving out monetarily, you will receive back. What you're giving out, you will receive back. So if you want to be respected, if you want to have respect in life, you've got to respect. And that means respecting yourself, respecting your partner, and respecting other people first.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't respect the men that come into the Effortless Alphas, the men that come to me for coaching, if I didn't respect them first, oh my God, how could I possibly help them? How could I possibly hold space for them?
I also hear seeing them as greater than they see themselves, right? It's like respect is, hey, I know that there's greatness within you. There might be some things that are out of alignment with that. You might have some old habits that are still lingering, some toxic behaviors, and I get that. But I'm still going to see through to your core of greatness, of love, of being an amazing human being, an amazing man.
And coming from a place of respect means it's okay for me to call you on your bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's because I respect you, and I see where you're going wrong, that I want to tell you this. Whether and you may not believe me at first. You may be stubborn. You may want to be right. And that's okay. I respect that. That's the person you have been leading up to now. This is the person that has survived up until this point. We all have this survival instinct in our brains. Yeah. I'm okay being the person that I was yesterday. And I know everybody, when I say something like, you want to stay where you're at. You want to stay in your shitty relationship. You want to stay in your awful financial position. People go, no, I don't. How dare you say that? I respect you enough to tell you the truth. That your brain wants you to stay there. Otherwise, you would make changes. If you knew what it was that you wanted, and you really, really wanted to get out, you'd use a little discipline. You'd use a little willpower. Put away the drink. Put away the video games. Start training your mind to think positive instead of negative. But it all of that starts from respect. And that starts with having respect for themselves. Where I started when I started cutting out the drinking, when I started going after the things that I wanted. It started with respect for me. I didn't have respect for me. I was just treating myself crappy all the time in the effort of in the name of instant gratification. Whatever made me feel good now. Whatever that is. And for a lot of men, that's alcohol. It's marijuana. It's pornography. It's sex. It's whatever it is. Yeah. Smoking. Video games. Or whatever you survived on yesterday. Yeah. You can teach yourself that you can survive on whatever it is that you want. All we truly need is right here. Yeah. This is really all we need to survive. Yeah. Yeah. For months. Literally months we can survive on just water. We don't even need food.
But it's all the stories. It's all the stories that we tell ourselves about what we need, what is like life or death, the stories and the meaning, the survival mechanism that's going to work saying, hey, I need whatever. I need to be by someone. Oh, I can't be on my own. I can't be alone. That's terrible. That's scary. We got to be around people. We got to be going out and partying. We got to be watching TV. We got to be occupying the mind and filling the mind with activity, because if we experience that silence, oh no, that's scary. It's dangerous.
I beg for all that now. I love it coming home to myself. I get to relax, watch whatever it is I want on TV. Yeah. I don't have to worry about coming home and my last pepperette eaten out of the fridge, whatever. And then you just have that sense of I'm not gonna stress out even on my way home because I don't have to worry about all these things that are gonna play with my emotions. So I am in a relationship, and my relationship consists of we talk throughout the week, which is fantastic because we could talk about our feelings, we could talk about what we did for the day, we could talk about whatever we want to, and then we spend time on the weekends. And it's like I cracked a joke there a couple weeks ago. We were at a birthday party, and someone had asked me, he said, well, if you work nights and she works days, you guys don't spend very much time together. And I said, yeah. I said, that's why the relationship works so well. Everybody laughed, and then I thought for a minute. That was a stupid thing to say. That's not why it works. It works because we work.
Wow.
So that was just a stupid comment, but I got a laugh out of it, and I like making people laugh, so it is what it was.
It works because you have incredible communication.
That's exactly.
You guys have phenomenal communication. Every relationship, I mean, this is what I do. I create better relationships because I help men improve their communication.
I didn't even know how to spell communication before, so.
That's awesome. I love it. And you know, you two working together has been like something that's helped you both grow. You know, Kevin, you've helped Jay and you know, really taught him a lot of what you've picked up from working with men. And then Jay, I'm sure you've taught Kevin a lot about, like, you know, just how to be versatile. Jay was probably, you know, this wild, untamed creature that you had to have like immense.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
Immense patience to be able to, you know, relate to. And you know, I think that the most challenging people in our lives are there to teach us and like share lessons and impart lessons with us to help us grow in life. And so I'm sure the relationship with you two has been incredible. And Jay, like, you've grown so much in terms of your positivity and your outlook on the world and how you see the world, to be able to inspire people, to help people, you know, rethink, rewire, restart, like that whole aspect of like how you shift from negativity to positivity. That's been a huge breakthrough for you that now you're sharing with people. You've shared it on our marathon, you've shared it with people in your life, and I think it's just super powerful, your guys' dynamic and relationship.
And the Cisco part,
yeah,
see your situation change overnight.
Yeah.
It's no bullshit. It really is. The fact of the matter is, whatever problem you're having, if you focus on it and you learn how to not look at it at a negative aspect, but to look at it how, what I can do so it doesn't make me feel that way anymore. What can I do? And you search. I don't care if you call me. I don't care if you call Kevin. I don't care if you call Chris. I don't care if you call Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Whoever you have to call that can give you the helpful advice that you need to start so that your Cisco will happen literally overnight. It will. Sorry, this is what happens when you're a father. Your son won't stop calling when you found a car to buy. Anyway, so that's the thing that I've learned the most about, and I know Kevin will vouch for me, is that I've literally learned to listen, to take it in, and then approach it after I thought about it. Because sometimes it used to be, like I said, with my impulsive rage, it would be, well, this. No, it wasn't. And that's how I would react to it. Now it's this. Okay, well, how did you come up with that? Because then if I get their perspective, then maybe I can understand it better. And, you know, any little bit of advice in life is always going to help, whether it be negative or positive. If you get negative advice, then you know not to use it, and you find a way to make it positive, and you don't use that advice, and it helps you. So no matter which way you look at everything, I'm a sponge. That's what I call myself. I'm a sponge.
Yes.
I'm soaking it all in. Give it to me. I'll take it. I'll do with what I need to do with it, but I'm still going to use it as my learning tool. Past relationships, as Kevin knows, he's been around for, I don't know, about 36 of them. I've learned that, it's a slight exaggeration, but I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to react. I was finding myself in wrong relationships with the wrong people because that's what I thought I deserved. And as I've grown and known that that's not what you deserve, you deserve the best. No matter what, you deserve the best. Don't settle. If you're in a relationship where you feel like you're giving, and never getting, and you're not happy, find a way to make yourself happy, whether it be a different relationship or it be getting some advice, counseling, Kevin, Chris, whatever. I'm telling you, there's always a better way. Here's a prime example. If anybody watches MMA, boxing, any kind of sport like that, you got Mike Tyson, who at one point in time was the best fighter on the planet. But guess what? He met his match. You're always going to have something better. Always.
Yeah.
So stop pushing for it. Don't stop striving for it. Push harder. Work harder. Do what you got to do to get what you want to be. And there's never an end. It's not a race. You know what I mean? It's more of a marathon. You're going to do it for a very long time. Your situation can change overnight, but it's still a work in progress no matter what. Because you're always going to want to better yourself. Like Kevin and I always say, you want to be better than you were yesterday.
And the way I look at it is like you can see yourself change overnight, see your situation change overnight and see things differently. And that is a perspective change that can happen immediately. And the resulting kind of momentum that's built up in your environment around you, the people, the job, the circumstances, the things that are happening to you, that might take time to start really shifting what has been manifesting, what has been, the seeds that you've been planting. Just because you change the type of seeds that you plant one day, yes, you can experience immediately new crops, new results, new fruits of your labors. And I think the real results from that starts compounding over time, so that you see those big changes. When you start respecting yourself and respecting other men, that's a decision that you get to keep reinforcing every day. You get to wake up and you say, today I'm going to respect myself and I'm going to respect others again, until it becomes autopilot, until it becomes the unconscious competent. It's like, boom, I just do it automatically. I just see things positively now. I just notice the things that are awesome in my life and am grateful and appreciative. And that can take time to be on autopilot for that. But the decision can be made in an instant.
In fact, change happens in an instant.
Yeah.
So many people don't get started on the journey of self-discovery, on the journey of changing their lives, because oh my God, it's going to take forever. They see the mountain they have to climb and they stop. It's like thinking about if you're making $30,000-$40,000 a year and thinking about making $1 million a year. That is not a good thought. I mean, it's a good thought, but it's not a good feeling to have that thought. It's like, God, that's so far away. The same thing goes in this, but the change happens in an instant. The mindset change from someone that makes $40,000 a year and someone that makes $1 million a year happens in an instant. And you'd be surprised how fast you can go from one to the other. When you believe it's going to take 10 years, it's going to take 10 years. When you believe it's possible to happen tomorrow, it's going to take less. That change, though, happens in an instant. It doesn't take a long time to change. Thinking about it, worrying about it, wondering if it's going to happen, that all takes a long time.
Commitment. You have to commit to it for it to work too. Especially we've been speaking about men who we know direction, help in their lives, and they admit, oh, I know I need help. But what do I got to do? Okay, you got to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that. So you're not committing to actually giving yourself to be what you want to be or to have the changes that you want to make. You can't just say you want to do it. You have to do it. You know what I mean? And I see that, and I'm sure Kevin, Chris, I'm sure you guys have both seen how many times you get people who claim they want to change, and then when you tell them what to do or you give them advice, they don't take it anyway.
If you say, I want to make this change, as long as, and there's anything that comes after that, you still got to work on it. Work on your commitment.
It's conditional versus being in it no matter what. As long as there's the but or the condition, then it's not a true decision. It's not a true like I'm all in. And that's when 100% alignment is when you get the results.
Well, you said it earlier, Chris, when you said about a farmer planting his crops. Okay, so when you commit to making these changes, it's like you're planting your crops. Yeah. Now, your crops do not grow overnight. You cannot, husk your corn or pick your tomatoes or whatever it may be the next day. It takes them time to grow. And in that growth, you need water. So there's always something along the way that's going to help you achieve even better goals. So if you set yourself a goal, like I have, a few times, I'm not going to count it, I don't know exactly how many, but you set yourself a goal. And even though you've got to focus on that goal, sometimes you might get sidetracked. Sometimes that goal might become a little distorted because you've lost that commitment, and you need sometimes the water to get to where you're going. And that is our wonderful group, the Alpha Brothers. Anytime you need a little kick in the ass, something in life is happening that you're not happy with, and you need some advice, you need to just vent, I love this group. I love this group. Chris, you're a part of the group as well. Our fearless leader, Kevin, it's not just the fact that Kevin is the greatest guy in the world. It's the fact that every man in this group is the greatest guy in the world. Just because we all have our stupid little problems, we can always get through them. And I didn't mean to say stupid as in the problem itself is stupid. Obviously, every problem is not stupid. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. However, that's not true. Stupidity exists too. But anyways, what I was getting at is no matter what your thought process, no matter what your goals, no matter what it may be, there's always a way to get through it, and you don't have to do it alone. There's always somebody beside you, behind you, in front of you, a phone call, whatever it may be, they're there for you. Yeah. And that's why I love my brothers and my leader, everybody in that group.
And that's the positive masculinity right there. Because even in the last, like you said, in the last couple of weeks, there have been a couple of guys that have come forward and said, I'm having this problem in my life. A couple of them were fired up when it happened, negative mindset kicking in right away. But in the Effortless Alphas, to a man, we held them to the highest. We held them to the highest standard of who we know that they can be, without judgment, without making fun, without mockery. Because I'm in a bunch of other men's groups because it's part of my job to be. And I don't see that anywhere else. I see other men making fun, poking fun, saying you're an idiot. It's really simple, you're stupid, just do this. And that's not positive masculinity. That's, like Jay said, it's coming from a place of insecurity. It's coming from a place of, I don't want to look stupid. I think what you're doing is stupid, so I need to point that out so I don't look stupid. That's not helping anybody. It helps nobody.
And neither does
it only helps your ego.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you could define, could you define positive masculinity? Like we're getting examples of it. Like, hey, instead of being someone who points out the problems and says things are stupid, you focus on the solution. You focus on supporting people. You let them know that they belong. They're a part of a brotherhood. Is there anything else specifically that you use to distinguish positive masculinity?
All of it comes down to the one word.
Respect.
Respect. Respect them. It is not respectful to call someone an idiot. It's not respectful to tell someone the situation they're in, they should have figured it out by now. Yes, call them on their BS, for sure. That's respecting the person that they want to be. But do it in a way that's productive. Do it in a way that's going to help them, not shoot them down.
And that's the one thing I can say too, with all the BS as I've lived in. Kevin has always called me out on it, and as I said before, with the explosive anger, it'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm right, you're wrong. Get over it. And then, like I said, as many years as he's been my friend, he stuck through because he knew, you can be an asshole right now, but eventually you're going to grow up. And I did. I did. I grew up and I realized that how much of an asshole I was. And just the thought process, like I look back and think, I don't even understand why I thought like that. I don't even understand how anybody would want to be my friend. No wonder why I had girls like that in my life and relationships. I get it now. It totally makes sense. Kevin told me something quite almost 3 years ago, and I think we discussed this last time, Chris, was about the gratitude thing. And at the time, I was working a really crappy job, making really crappy money. And I called up Kevin and I hate my life, man. This job sucks. I can't make money. And he said, Jay, be thankful. Okay, I'm thankful for this shitty ass check. Right. And then he taught me how to be grateful, how to be grateful, how to appreciate what you have. And then when I started, what happened, Kev? I got a better job. I'm making more money. I went from living in someone's basement to having my own apartment to having my own house. It works. I don't care what anybody says. You could be negative all you want. The fact of the matter is I'm living proof that this happened. I went from the worst relationships in the world to the best one. I had friends that I thought were friends that aren't so much friends to these new friends that I have. And I'm not going to mention any names like Curtis and Kevin and them. But they're amazing people. And when I get together with them, I feel like I can finally just be who I really am. I don't have to put on a show. I don't have to be Billy bullshitter. I can be who I am, and they appreciate it, and I appreciate them. Life has done a 180 for me, and as good as it is now, I just can't freaking wait to see what's coming. I can't. I'm so excited because I know I'm just, as you can tell, I'm like full of energy. I always want to do things. I always want to learn new things. And I'll even call Kevin if something stupid happens. I'm like, Kevin, man, this happened, and this is the way I thought about it. But I think that I should have thought about it this way. And then Kevin would say, well, what about this? Son of a bitch, that's right. That's perfect. That's exactly what I needed. And then I look at things that way, and it works. It works. It really does. That's why I say the gratitude that I have for especially you two men right now that I'm on with, I can say prayers for you guys every day that I thank you for being a part of my life. And if you ever leave me, I'll hunt you down.
I love it. I love it. So, Kevin, in an ideal world, what would you see happening when these men are showing up with respect? How do you see brotherhood being built and formed in our world today? Like, how can we do that? How can we get involved in more things and support each other more?
Well, get into men's groups that are following that lead.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other ones have that at the forefront. Respect. I know a lot have, preside, protect, provide, that the kind of old school stuff. But get into one that has respect. And it doesn't make us less than men. It doesn't make us. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of men are still old school thinking, saying, I have to do it the way they used to do it. But we're at a precipice in humanity right now where we have the opportunity to force evolution. We can decide how we want to go forward. We can decide who we want to be as a species going forward. And that starts with leading with respect. And when you and just go out, the best way to do it, Chris, is just go out and practice it. Like we've been saying all along. Jay, where are you going?
I have to go pick Jay. Sorry.
All right, don't look at the camera. So go out and practice, just like we've been talking about. The most important thing is treating it like a muscle. If you want to go to the gym, if you want to work out, if you want to get thinner, you want to get stronger, you want to do anything, get better cardio, you've got to practice. You've got to do it on a daily basis. So practice it every time. Put reminders in your phone. Give respect. And in every interaction, give respect. Start by respecting yourself. That means treating yourself well. We're getting some feedback there, Jay.
From what?
From your car and turn signals. Put yourself on mute if you're not talking.
I don't even know how. But, oh, wait, no. Oh, here it is.
Either way, practice giving respect first, and just watch what happens to your life. Now, I posted something in the Effortless Alphas this morning about something along these lines. Can't remember exactly what it is, but it ended up being, you need to be open-minded. And somebody had commented saying, well, I'm the ultimate skeptic. I'm always open-minded. And I thought, you know what? I don't believe those two things are synonymous. I don't believe skepticism and open-mindedness are synonyms. Because that to me means I'm not really going to go in full bore on everything or anything for that matter. I'm just going to hang back and wait until I find proof. But what sort of proof do you need? I mean, a lot of people are saying, if you can, and I see this all the time, if you can back it up with scientific proof, I will believe you. Give me pure, whatever the hell, scientific term, then I will believe you. Well, I don't know if I can prove scientifically that the way that you show up in the world changes the world around you. The way that you start giving respect changes the relationship that you're in. Yes, I'm sure that we can prove it with chemicals in the brain are released when you do this to this person, blah, 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 blah. Sure, fine, go ahead and do a study. But while you're doing that study, I'm going to change my life for the better. While you spend the next 20 years doing peer reviews, I'm going to have a better life today.
Yeah.
Because I show up leading my life, respect first, giving respect first. And the proof is I now have everything I've ever wanted. And the best relationship I could ever ask for. The best communication. Jay says he never argues. Melanie and I sometimes argue, but they last a minute or two.
It's not an argument, it's a disagreement. Big difference.
Okay.
I love it.
To Jay, there is a big difference between the argument and disagreement. To me, it starts off, there's emotions, Yeah. I want to be right. You want to be right. I mean, these aren't things that just go away. We always still want to have that. The brain wants to be right, but it's how we deal with it going forward that changes our relationship. So now the disagreement happens, and it lasts 2 minutes. No, I'm giving over. That's fine. I will allow that in my own brain. I allow that to be the difference. If it helps people understand, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I said it that way is because, in my opinion, arguments go as such. I'm right, you're wrong, you're an idiot, shut up. A disagreement might be, oh, it's red. No, it's blue. Okay, well, how did you see blue? Okay, well, how did you see red? That's the difference. That's how I see it.
Sure.
I've had communication disagreements with Amanda. We can go that way, but we've never, ever argued.
Fair.
Disagreements last this long, where arguments can last forever.
Interesting.
Then people hold grudges, and it just goes downhill from there. But all of that can stop in your life.
Yeah. It's
not based on other people. It's based on the man you're being now.
Yeah. Powerful. So if there was anything that could wrap up this philosophy or any final pieces of wisdom that you want to give to our audience, we'll start with Jay, and then we'll go over to Kevin. Jay, what do you really want our audience to get from this interview, man?
To be able to listen. Not just listen, but to hear. Like listening to somebody, sometimes it's just in passing, whatever, but to actually hear. I also want people to understand that this too shall pass. Whatever you are going through right now may not be there tomorrow or the next day. There's always ways for things to get better, to be better. You just have to work at them and don't expect an overnight success.
Powerful.
Stay positive, because every single thing becomes better when it's positive. If you look at things negative, it doesn't get better. It really doesn't. It gets better when you're positive about it. Take any little aspect that you have in life and look at it in a positive way and watch how different things become.
Mm. Beautiful. Love it. Thanks, Jay. How about you, Kevin?
What are you fighting for?
Mm.
So many of us want to fight against. And the whole talk around masculinity right now is fighting against what we don't want. And it's not working.
Mm.
There's a lot of conversation going on, but there's a lot of pissed off men.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, for a while, I mean, we all saw the Gillette ad. I misread it. I misread men's reactions because I was all for the ad. I was like, how could you possibly see something wrong with that?
Mm.
But what I didn't see was men saw something wrong with that. And they were in pain when they saw it. So if they were in pain at an ad, which may or may not have been designed in order to create awareness, in order to create better men,
Mm-hmm.
it backfired. Because if you agreed with it or not, there were way more people that disagreed with it than agreed with it.
Right.
And, oh, it's just us. Oh, there's. And it's because people are fighting against the things they don't want to see. It's time for everybody to get on board of fighting for what we want. I did a post the other day, just hashtag positive masculinity. Let's start hashtagging that. Let's hashtag positive masculinity and show the good side, because I guarantee there's a lot more of it than we give credit to. As Jay said, you got to be grateful. We're not grateful for the positive masculinity in the world. You want to see more of it. Be grateful for it. Be loud about it. Let the world know the positive masculinity that you see out there. Post that. That's going to change the world.
Powerful. Powerful. I love it, guys. You're rock stars. So let's tell our audience how they can stay connected with you and continue their journey growing with both of you. We'll start with Kevin. How do they stay connected with you, man?
Search Effortless Alpha or Effortless Alphas on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on anything. It is the only one. That is how you can find me. You can, if you're a man and you want to join that brotherhood we're talking about, it's the Effortless Alphas. You can find that no problem just searching it on Facebook.
Beautiful. And Jay, how do they stay connected with you?
Facebook. That's my life. I don't do a lot of social media things. I don't have a web page. As I say, I focus on doing the things for myself at the time. When things get to the point where I feel that where I'm at will benefit people that are struggling to get where I'm at, then I will, commence by, referring to Kevin and yourself for a little bit more guidance to maybe make a web page or get involved in another way.
Well, I would say that what you're sharing right now is helping someone, someone who's a few steps behind you. We all have the ability to have a hand down, so to speak, to people who are a couple steps behind us, hands across to brothers who are around the same level as us, and then hands up to our mentors, coaches, and leaders who we aspire to be like. So always remember that you can make the difference in people's lives who are a couple steps behind you. It's just stepping up and declaring that that's what you're giving your life for. That's what you're fighting for. That's what you're standing for. So anything I could do to support you, Jay, let me know, man.
Thanks, Chris.
And I know Kevin extends the same exact offer.
I never even questioned it. Never even questioned it.
Awesome. You two are amazing human beings. Thank you so much for being here. And everyone stay connected with Kevin and Jay because they're powerhouses. And I appreciate you both. Have the best.
Thank you for having us, ever. Chris. Love you, brother.
Love you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.